Monday morning to you. Welcome into Weekend Recharge. I'm Maria Larosa.
And I'm Paul Goodlow. Well, August typically isn't a huge month for tornadoes, but yeah, this year has been different. It's rare, but still, tornadoes are reported in both Alabama and Florida over the past couple of days. Coming up, we're going to tell you where tornadoes could even strike today. This out in terms of people with afternoon and evening plans.
That's going to be huge. Timing is everything, and location, location, location. So we've got that all for you. And those are going to be the two areas. But notice we have a pretty big area of orange, too. Don't want to disregard the regular thunderstorms either. So if you're maybe heading to the lake and want to take the boat out, doing some Pure Michigan activities, for example, want a big heads up. All right, so we're going to start with that big batch of rain that Paul was tracking. That continues to move through the lunch hour, in through central Illinois and into the Indianapolis area. But look what happens here later this afternoon and evening. You see big thunderstorms right here around Sioux Falls. They're going on along I-70 west of St. Louis, but also north of Indianapolis. So we're still going here with some of these thunderstorms. Now, as we get into the after dinner hour, say 8 o'clock, they're now pushing into Omaha. They're through St. Louis and still going on in and around Indianapolis. It's the damaging winds and the possibility of hail, but also torrential rainfall, even as we get into the late night hours, as we go into especially this area of concern. It's going to be a pretty active day right in here, but also that tornado threat. Want to give you a big heads up. 3 out of 10 for the Torcon for East Central South Dakota. That means a 3 in 10 chance within 50 miles of that area seeing a tornado. Timing wise for Sioux Falls, it's afternoon and evening, Paul, but a lot of areas like Chicago, that continues into the evening as well. All the stories that we're going to talk about today to get you ready for the week ahead. I know it's a big week for a lot of folks, whether it's back to school or back to work. So obviously a lot of the map is covered in this orange. Very hot and humid. And yes, even by August standards, it is really hot and humid in a lot of these places. We'll talk about the highs and the lows and what that means for you starting next week. We also have severe weather. You saw some of it yesterday, already tracking some big time thunderstorms this morning. How this will play out from the northern plains into the Midwest and yes, even to the Northeast, where, Paul, right now it is nice, but we're going to focus our attention on the severe weather threat today because, as you mentioned earlier, there is that tornado possibility.
Right. In fact, what's moving in the Midwest right now, storms across the central U.S. as we head towards your Sunday.
That's right. So I'm picking up where you left off. So we're talking about that severe threat and what we expect for today. I'm going to time step you now into the next few hours. We're seeing that huge amount of showers and thunderstorms now crossing over into the Midwest. You've got from Chicago to Indianapolis by after the lunch hour, a chance for some of those showers. But you also have back in through the northern plains some of that activity getting going. You watch, again, the clock being dinner time, heads up Sioux Falls north of Omaha, where you're talking not just the big hail, but the possibility of tornadoes too. And you see those still are going by 9 o'clock tonight, and you have it even in through central Illinois and into Indiana. So again, that storm threat today includes the severe threat, but let's fine tune that tornado threat. Right now, we're calling for a 3 out of 10 for East Central South Dakota on that Torcon. That means a 3 in 10 chance within a 50-mile radius of seeing a tornado in that area. If you're in Sioux Falls, again, time frame being today, you're starting off with the cloudy skies. So think about what you're doing later this afternoon. Do you have a way to get warnings? Do your plans involve being outside? Because by 5, 6 o'clock, some of those showers and thunderstorms will be right there for you, big time here. Temperatures staying into the 80s, but any of these could be putting down a lot of heavy rain and those gusty winds. Chicago for you too. Obviously, we're sort of getting a heads up because the storms aren't that far off, but by lunchtime through the afternoon, showers and thunderstorms, it continues on into tonight. So if you're thinking of doing those last-minute errands later on this evening, maybe after dinner, it's time to think about maybe checking in with the radar first before you head out. And same for Indianapolis later on this evening. Paul, we are looking at showers and thunderstorms. There's something.
And speaking of stretching, time now for our 7-day stretch. Get you on through this week of August, and for some, it's back to school for some kids.
It is indeed, I know. Let's see, who's starting this week? We were talking about Jackson. Jackson's school starting up, and you've got the heat and humidity beyond. Those heat index levels, 110, 115.
Your last weekend will be just a scorcher there. Beginning of the week is unbearable. Also watching severe weather popping up across the northern plains today. Towards Tuesday, Atlanta, chances of thunderstorms there, keeping your temperatures a few degrees degrees cooler than yesterday and today, but more storms popping up and rolling through the northeast. Some areas should see some dry time by perhaps lunch. Others still seeing storms right on through the evening hours as well. More rain coming on through New England, keeping you cooler. 73 in Boston.
And look, it's sort of getting this clean sweep, right? The northern plains and the Midwest looks great. Minneapolis, Chicago, temps near 80 degrees. Do have some showers and thunderstorms, Four Corners and the Rockies in Colorado, but the 5 from Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, looking dry.
Hey, Wednesday we talked about school starting. Let's take you to Louisville, Kentucky holiday for shoppers out there. And
there's some great shopping in Miami, from what I hear. From what I hear.
And for people that shop like me, there's outlet malls too. So we're not all,
exactly.
You know, what's it, Ocean Drive, where the shops?
Like that. I don't even know.
I don't know either.
I'm trying to talk the talk, and I'm like, I don't know. If it's not Target,
there.
I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Target.
All right, here comes Friday, and you notice overall the weather map's pretty quiet, and I put the air quotes because we do have spots of showers and thunderstorms from the Great Lakes and Midwest down across Florida and the southeast coast and the Rockies. But again, it's overall pretty good.
But it's also August, so take a look what happens in New York and Boston and Dallas. Back to the triple digits next weekend.
There you go. All right, severe thunderstorms are back. They're on the move too from Sioux City to St. Louis. We said the summer hot and storms, and it's 2 of their top 3 stories, actually 3 of the 3 stories, and I'll explain that in a second. But as we take a look at the things we'll be covering for you today, of course, the heat. It is August, it's the South, but this is excessive. Excessive heat warnings in pink, Little Rock down towards Jackson. Those heat index levels staying very, very high for a long time. We'll time it out for you, especially with so many of you getting your kiddos ready to head back to school. And with that in mind, here too, talking about storms and the severe threat, Peoria over to Springfield and St. Louis, but as well, we're talking to you Sioux Falls and Omaha, and some of those storms are getting an early start. So we'll time it out for you right now and get you through the rest of the day. And then a sneak peek at tomorrow. Yes, not only a storm threat in the northeast, but severe weather possible from Pittsburgh over towards Harrisburg down to Charleston. It's not stopping at the I-95 corridor, Paul, so we'll take you into the rest of the northeast and what that looks like next week. Paul?
Yeah, let's talk about where those storms are.
It is 6:30 hours. Weekend recharge rolls on. It is Sunday. Can you believe that? August 9th. I can't believe that. 2015. We're glad you're with us. I'm Maria Larosa.
I'm Paul Goodlow. Well, many of us are looking back on the summer of 2015 as a pretty nice summer. Others will think about it for 2 things. One, the heat.
And this is basically what one of our models will look like, making the radar and how it will appear the next few hours. So pick a spot on the map that's you. Pick a time that maybe you've got something going on outside. Maybe it's 2 o'clock after the lunch hour. You still have the heavy rain threat here in through Illinois and Indiana. But look what's happening right up here. You've got some pretty big thunderstorms beginning to pop in those discrete cells. We've got big time thunderstorms, not only with hail and damaging winds, but we do have that tornado threat. So heads up Sioux Falls by the dinner hour north of Omaha. But look at you too, Indianapolis, dinner hour and later, looking at heavy showers and thunderstorms, and that may bring about some quick flash flooding out on those roadways. So by today, again, those are the areas at risk, but focusing on that tornado threat, we've got a TORCON of 3 out of 10 today for east central South Dakota. That means a 3 in 10 chance within 50 miles of that area of seeing a tornado develop later today. So have a way to get warnings. Timing again this afternoon and evening, looking mainly just cloudy though for the start of the day. Now you look at Chicago and it's already pretty stormy in the vicinity, so no surprise here. You have the chance for storms as early as the lunch hour, but really lasting with hit and miss chances here right on through the evening hours, temps staying into the 70s. And then for you, Indianapolis, if you're doing any more shopping ahead of school, you've already started school in Indianapolis, getting ready for the big week ahead, more showers and thunderstorms this afternoon and evening, right about dinner time, and temperatures here too, Paul, staying into the 80s. But the storm threat is not staying there. That is pushing off to the east too. Thank you. Up next, our wonder of weather video you have to see. It's hail bouncing in slow motion.